I actually cannot believe that I'm about to do this right now. I asked you guys in a community post if I were to rank every single weapon from a specific chapter, which one you would like to see first, and chapter 2 won by an overwhelming majority. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I have ranked every single weapon from chapter 2 of Fortnite, from chapter 2 season 1 all the way through chapter 2 season 8. This is an absolutely mammoth video, so if you do go on to enjoy it, a like would be really appreciated. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see me do this for other chapters. But okay, hold on. Before I get into it, let me go into a little bit of nuance, because there were like over 150 weapons in total, and that would just not be feasible for me. So what I did was I am not including superpowers on this list, so no chapter 2 season 4 mythics, no grenades, consumables, heals. Obviously those are not weapons, we are talking about specifically guns here. No lasers, flight knock, of course that was from laser beams, LTM, and just in the greater scope of things, there are no LTM exclusives on this list. And arguably the most crucial point is that this is the chapter 2 version of these weapons. So these weapons could have been nerfed into the ground in chapter 4, but if they were really good in chapter 2, then they will get a high spot on this ranking. It is the chapter 2 version, how they stood in this chapter. If you want to help support the channel here on YouTube, go use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop, and go follow me on my new Twitter and Discord. They just created all the links for all my socials are in my bio. With that long intro out of the way, let's get into a absolutely massive video. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so if I were to go into detail into every single weapon on this list, we'd probably be here for 2+ hours, and I'm not sure anybody really wants that. So there are some weapons that I'm just going to skip over. I'll show their picture on the screen. You'll know I ranked them, but I'll just skip over them pretty quickly because we got to get through a 96+ weapons. But anyways, with that being said, at the very worst spot, at the number 96 spot, the worst weapon in all of chapter 2, I believe it to be the Recycler and Spire Assassin's Recycler. I can't even believe this thing has a mythic. There should be no surprise here that a chapter 2 season 6 weapon is here, but you might be surprised where the rest of the chapter 2 season 6 weapons fall in. Just a brutal launcher overall, absolutely brutal, one of the worst weapons in Fortnite history. At the number 95 spot is the Dual Fiend Hunter crossbow. At the number 94 spot is the Propifier. At the number 93 spot is the Fiend Hunter crossbow, and at the number 92 spot is the Grabatron. Look, the Grabatron from chapter 2 season 7 is a really fun weapon. It's goofy, everyone likes using it, but practically it's not good at all. There are such limited applications and uses to when you can make this weapon effective, and I genuinely think that there are 90 other weapons in this chapter that I'd rather have. At the number 91 spot is the Makeshift Bow. At the number 90 spot is the Primal Bow, and at the number 89 spot is the Mechanical Bow. So yeah, a couple of chapter 2 season 6 weapons here. No real surprise with these. I don't think any of these bows in particular are anything special. They're just the base bows that are used to get some of the better, more like elemental bows, right? Stink Bow, Fire Bow, all that stuff. So shouldn't be any surprise to see them down here. At the number 88 spot is the Bandage Bazooka, and I want to stop on this one because it's a little bit confusing, because this is one of, I believe, only 2 or 3 healing only weapons on this list. I'm sure you can guess what the other one is. And the Bandage Bazooka really isn't that good. It just gives you white heals. Like, white heals are so prevalent and so easy to find that for 2 spots, yeah, you're never going to take the Bandage Bazooka. And once you realize that the Chug Cannon exists, it is everything the Bandage Bazooka really should have been. Just do white heals and shield. So yeah, Bandage Bazooka all the way down here. At the 87 spot is the Primal Pistol. At number 86 is chapter 2 season 5's lever action rifle. I don't know, honestly, I'm surprised it made it like 10 spots into this list. I wanted to put the lever action rifle as the worst weapon of all time, but after looking at the weapons list for chapter 2, oh man, there were a lot of bad weapons. At the number 85 spot is the Boom Sniper Rifle, followed by the Makeshift Revolver at the number 84 spot, and the First Order Blaster Rifle at the number 83 spot. I feel bad for the First Order Blaster Rifle, honestly, because in every single list I do, ranking every mythic, every assault rifle, this one, the First Order Blaster Rifle always ends up at the bottom, and I feel like it's kind of funny because this weapon, obviously, the accuracy is meant to be bad. That's the whole, like, play on Star Wars and the dudes having, you know, bad accuracy. But yeah, absolutely no way I could put it any higher. At the number 82 spot is the first of the elemental bows. That's the Primal Stink Bow. And at number 81 are Deadpool's Dual dual-wield hand cannons. Deadpool's dualies are by far the worst mythic from Chapter 2, Season 2. The main problem was that they had to nerf the base damage of dual-wield pistols so that you could get the trade-off of the extra health. The only problem was you literally only got 3 health or shield back every time you landed a shot. That is absolutely horrible. I mean, think about it. You might hit somebody 4 or 5 times before you kill them. I mean, enjoy your plus 12 health. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really doesn't make any much of a difference. Man, they absolutely killed Deadpool here. They did him so dirty, and everyone knows it too. At number 80 is the makeshift rifle. At number 79 is the makeshift SMG. At number 78 is the Kingsman umbrella. At number 77 is the makeshift shotgun. Yeah, really just a jumble of Chapter 2, Season 6 makeshift weapons. You know, guys, the makeshift weapons were meant to be bad. You guys all know I despise Chapter 2, Season 6, and honestly, I feel like I'm doing them justice by putting them this high on the list. The makeshift weapons, honestly, like they just don't stand a chance, so I kind of feel bad trying to rank them, but yeah, all the way at the bottom here. At the number 76 spot is the harpoon gun, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I entirely forgot that this weapon ever existed. Besides being used to like catch fish, the harpoon gun is actually a decent weapon, might I say. Like, if you don't have a shotgun and you can use the harpoon gun, it does 75 damage at close range, and you can fire those shots off decently quickly. As a weapon, the harpoon gun isn't terrible. At number 75 is the Big Chill, that is the exotic snowball launcher. At the number 74 spot is the automatic sniper rifle. At number 73 is the mechanical explosive bow. At number 72 is Chimera ray gun and Zig and Choppy's ray gun. And at the number 71 spot is the sideways scythe. Look, I had mentioned the Kingsman umbrella earlier. I'm not a fan of melee weapons. I never have been. I never will be in Fortnite. I really just don't think there's a spot in the game for melee weapons. 9 out of 10 times you're just going to get gunned down by a shotgun. But the sideways scythe did have that like tiny little mobility aspect to it, so that's why it gets a little bit higher up here. At number 70 is the Dub. At number 69 is the Primal Rifle. At number 68 is the Primal Flame Bow. And at number 67 is the Dragon's Breath Shotgun. I'm telling you guys, there's always a little group of people that are sitting here telling me the Dragon's Breath Shotgun is one of the best shotguns of all time. I strongly disagree with that. I do not think the Dragon's Breath Shotgun is even close to that. In fact, I consider it a pretty much a bottom feeder shotgun. I would say bottom 5, bottom 10 of all time. The problem with the Dragon's Breath Shotgun is you can't just use this weapon. Like, you always have to have another weapon to follow up the Dragon's Breath shotgun shot because the reload is so slow. And yeah, I don't really like that. The fact that I have to use another weapon to make this weapon good, essentially. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, next we have a trio of exotic weapons. At number 66 is the Unstable Bow. At number 65 is the Marksman 6-shooter. And at number 64 is the Nighthawk. Yeah, honestly, 3 pretty poor exotics, I'm gonna say. Like, the Unstable Bow can be good. You know, it obviously gives you a random bow, so half the time you're probably gonna get a good bow, like the mechanical shockwave bow, or you can get a bad bow, like the stink bow. So it's kind of a 50-50 shot there. And the other two, yeah, I mean, I hate the 6-shooter. I get you get the bonus headshot damage with the Marksman 6-shooter, and the Nighthawk, nobody was asking for a thermal scoped revolver. That's all I gotta say. At the number 63 spot is the scoped AR. Number 62 is the sideways rifle, and 61 is the Primal Shotgun and Spire Guardian's Primal Shotgun. You know, I kind of feel bad for the Primal Shotgun a little bit because on launch it was absolutely busted. Would probably be top 10 on this list if I was doing this the day that Chapter 2 Season 6 came out. But honestly, since its launch, it's just been all downhill for the Primal Shotgun, nerf after nerf after nerf. I don't really get why Fortnite loves doing 2-round burst shotguns, but yeah, here it is, and not terribly high on this list. At number 60 is the Suppress SMG. At number 59 is the Combat Pistol. At 58 is the Suppress Scar. At 57 is the Tactical SMG, which you might be surprised about because that weapon's not as good as you think it is, I'm telling you guys. And at number 56 is TNTina's Kaboom Bow. Yeah, so here's another Chapter 2 Season 2 mythic off the board. I thought the clear worst mythics in Chapter 2 Season 2 were Deadpool's dual hand cannons and TNTina's Kaboom Bow. Honestly, TNT's Kaboom Bow is not terrible. It's just in a season like Chapter 2, Season 2 with an absolutely loaded loot pool, there is no way you're ever going to take TNT's Kaboom Bow over, you know, a heavy sniper, a spaz shotgun, Brutus's minigun, Midas' drum gun, Sky's AR. Like, those are all weapons that are much better than this. especially if you're on controller. There's no way you were going to take a bow like this. Just take a bullet gun, take an AUG, and just beam everybody. At number 55 is Raz's explosive bow. At 54 is the sideways minigun. At 53 is the TAC AR. At 52 is the burst pulse rifle. And at 51 is the burst quad launcher. So yeah, at 52 and 51, another pair of exotic weapons, and really they're just the definition of mid. Like, they're literally in the middle of this list. I would say the same thing for the TAC AR too. I think the TAC AR was only featured in, I want to say Chapter 2, Season 3 with the Marauders, and maybe one other season, but honestly, I'm kind of blanking after that. Yeah, just a bunch of mid here. But something that's interesting at the number 50 spot is the flare gun. Yeah, you know, look, the flare gun is a really, really weird weapon because, well, you don't really use it as a weapon. You more so use it for the recon it gives you. And yeah, like, you can use it as a weapon. It did have the fire effect where the fire would spread. You could shoot at someone's box, reveal them, and also burn down all their builds. But nobody really used it for that. Everyone just used it for the recon. Everyone knows, just shoot it straight up in the air and reveal everybody around you. And it's actually a really, really powerful weapon. Like, the ability to essentially just recon everybody around you, I think it was like almost 10 times with the flare gun, is really, really strong. Unfortunately, there is another recon weapon that we saw in Chapter 2, and you probably know what I'm talking about. That is going to be a lot higher on this list. At the number 49 spot is the exotic Storm Scout sniper rifle and the regular Storm Scout sniper rifle. If you don't know, they are literally identical weapons. They are all the same. At the number 48 spot is the LMG, and number 47 is the dual wield pistols, and number 46 is just the regular flat out pistol from Chapter 2 Season 1, and at number 45 is the Hop Rock dualies. So yeah, like a bunch of pistols in a row here. I think the Hop Rock dualies are the best out of the couple pistols I just named for sure. Like, the Hop Rock dualies are really good, especially from saving you from fall damage, but I honestly felt like the little Hop Rock ability you got every time you shot a shot actually hurt me more than it helped me. Like, it almost just felt like it messed up the gunfights, right? Like, you shoot somebody, hit them, you go to try and take their wall, and you jump, and you end up going flying in the air, messes up all your timings, like, screws up everything, right? But, you know, combine them with shockwave grenades and also being able to save yourself from fall damage, the utility you get out of this weapon besides just the damage is really, really good. At the number 44 spot is the grappler bow. At number 43 is the revolver. That's going to be the purple and gold version, I believe, specifically from Chapter 2, Season 4. And at the number 42 spot is the combat shotgun. Yeah, honestly, you might be surprised to see the combat shotgun this low on the list. And yeah, Chapter 2 was a pretty dark time for the combat shotgun. I just remember, like, specifically in Chapter 2, Season 4, this thing was an absolute do not touch bottom feeder shotgun in this season. At number 41 is the regular minigun, and I gotta talk about this one for a little bit. And I already know right now there are gonna be people commenting down below, dude, how is the regular minigun at 41, but Brutus's minigun is so much higher? The legendary minigun is just the exact same stats as Brutus's minigun, which is true to an extent, but also the purple minigun exists, which is nowhere near as good as Brutus's minigun, so yeah, I had to bring it down a little bit. At the number 40 spot is the snowball launcher, and at the number 39 spot is the primal SMG. I honestly am totally lost at the fact that I actually put a Chapter 2 Season 6 weapon in the 30s, but I actually think it's one of the best weapons in that season, and this is one of the few weapons that absolutely sticks out from Chapter 2 Season 6 that I genuinely feel like you could take and put in another season and actually have success with. To me, the primal SMG was absolutely one of the standout weapons of Chapter 2 Season 6. One of the only times you'll hear me say anything good about this season. And all right, we got a couple snipers down the hatch here. At the number 38 spot is the suppressed bolt action. At number 37 spot is just the regular bolt. At the number 36 spot is the Amban sniper rifle, and at the number 35 spot is the Dragon's Breath sniper. So let me kind of explain why I ranked everyone where I did, right? First of all, suppressed bolt action, yeah, I do think it's the worst out of the snipers I just mentioned, especially in Chapter 2 Season 2. Nobody was touching this thing, everyone was using the heavy sniper. And then in terms of the bolt action, the Amban and the Dragon's Breath sniper, well, first of all, the Dragon's Breath sniper does more damage than all of these. I mean, I think it does the exact same damage as a legendary bolt, but you get the ability to have like the fire spread everywhere, which is super good. So that's why it's higher than all of them. And then between the Amban sniper and the regular bolt action, like, I don't know, it was a personal choice. The Amban sniper is essentially, I believe, a purple bolt and above in terms of damage. And of course, the bolt does exist in green and blue rarities, which weren't great, and also common rarities, if you remember, for like a day at the launch of Chapter 2. The Amban just feels incredible to use, I'll be honest with you guys. I love the Mandalorian, so a little bit of bias here. At the number 34 spot are lightsabers. And yeah, this is kind of a weird one because I did just like rip into all the melee weapons below, Kingsman Umbrella, Scythe, all that stuff, saying how bad I hate melee weapons. But this was the first iteration we got of lightsabers, and I think they were really, really strong in Chapter 2. I don't think there's going to be a ton of disagreements with the lightsabers being this high out of all the melee weapons. They were just really good in Chapter 2. I mean, I remember when they got announced, it was like a massive deal, and they lived up to the hype. They were blocking every single possible bullet. At the number 33 spot is the mechanical shockwave bow, another Chapter 2 Season 6 weapon, making it this high. Clearly, in my opinion, the best bow in the entire season. I mean, if you got your hands on this thing, you really did have like 30 shockwave grenades in your pocket. It was that good. Unbelievable form of mobility. Of course, we saw it come back in Chapter 4. That's not the one I'm talking about, but again, in Chapter 4, I felt like it was really good as well. And you also can do damage to people, right? It's literally a bow. So yeah, I have nothing bad to say about the mechanical shockwave bow. Super glad to put it this high on the list. At the number 32 spot is the AK, or the heavy assault rifle, and at the number 31 spot is the heavy sniper rifle. So I just want to go into a little bit of detail on the heavy sniper here, because the heavy sniper has a real interesting history in all of Chapter 2, right? Because it was unvaulted in Chapter 2 Season 1, and it was kept in Chapter 2 Season 2, and it was the absolute dominant sniper this season that we all know. It was the strong heavy sniper, one of the best weapons of all time. But there's a little bit of nuance here because it wasn't always like that. It was like that for the majority of Chapter 2 Season 2, but at the very end in Update V12.5, it was the critical nerf that the heavy sniper received. They reduced the body shot damage from 150 and 157 to 126 and 132, absolutely destroying the heavy sniper that we all know and love. So it was kind of hard to rank it right because like it was really good for most of its time in Chapter 2, but at the very end it got the critical nerf that destroyed it. So yeah, kind of tough to rank the heavy sniper here, so that's why it is where it is. Anyways, moving on, at the number 30 spot is the compact SMG, or the P90, and at the number 29 spot is the lever action shotgun. All you Nick A30 fans in the comment section are gonna rip into me for putting the lever action shotgun this low. I actually think it's pretty high up on this list. I mean, number 29, I don't really think the lever action shotgun is that good. The problem is there were just a lot of bad weapons in Chapter 2, so I automatically had to push this shotgun a little bit higher. At number 28 is the burst AR, and yes, this will include the AUG. So yeah, you can kind of understand why this was a really tough one to rank, because the burst AR in the gray through blue rarities, especially when it came out when it was a 3-round burst, I didn't think was anything that special, but the AUG was very, very special. I would actually argue this was the first assault rifle that was better than the SCAR. But since this does include the common through legendary rarity, I do have to take into account those really bad versions, the common through blue versions, and yeah, that's why it falls a little bit down. At the number 27 spot is the Shadow Tracker. At the number 26 spot is the Rapid Fire SMG. And at the number 25 spot is the Hunting Rifle from Chapter 2 Season 3. So yeah, in Chapter 2 Season 3, we got the purple and legendary versions of the Hunting Rifle, and they were really, really good. In the hands of the right player, the hunting rifle is easily a top 10 weapon of all time, and especially with these new versions in Chapter 2 Season 3, there was almost like literally no hipfire spread on this thing, so people were just bouncing around on crash pads, no scoping people, trick shotting. It was really cool. I actually really liked the hunting rifle. Anyways, at the number 24 spot is just the base SMG. That's going to be the MP5 looking weapon, and at the number 23 spot is the Chug Cannon. And yeah, I had alluded to this earlier when I was talking about the Bandage Bazooka. I am going to put a healing only weapon as almost a top 20 weapon in the entire chapter. Look, call me crazy, and I know it does take up 2 slots, but you have legitimately infinite heals. With the Bandage Bazooka, you only get white heals, but with this, you get white heals and you get shield as well. The Chug Cannon is such a good healing item. It almost feels like a crutch healing item. Like once you get your hands on it, it's just, you're gonna hold it for the whole game. The way I always saw it was like, am I gonna take 6 minis and 3 bigs, or am I gonna take a Chug Cannon? I'm always gonna take a Chug Cannon for the infinite heals. Anyways, at number 22 is the Flintlock pistol from Chapter 2 Season 8, and at the number 21 spot is Meowscles Piao Piao rifle. Thanks to everybody in my Every AR video who decided to correct me on that pronunciation. I think I got it now. Again, unfortunately, like Meowscles Piao Piao rifle isn't a bad weapon. It's just there are so many better options in Chapter 2 Season 2. It's just unfortunate for this weapon because I think if you put it in other seasons, it is a top tier AR. And all right, we have finally reached the top 20. These are some elite weapons, not only the best weapons in Chapter 2, but some of the best weapons of all time in their respective categories. At the number 20 spot is the Combat Assault Rifle. At the number 19 spot is Sloan's Burst Assault Rifle. And at number 18 is the Charged Shotgun. Look, I am a charged shotgun truther. I know there are a lot of people that do not like this shotgun, and I can totally see why, right? It is a really quirky shotgun. But I'm telling you, once you learn how to master this weapon, once you get over that learning curve that is, charging up the weapon before you shoot it, the charged shotgun is an elite shotgun. And you have to remember, like, particularly in Chapter 2, Season 3, the pump shotgun was vaulted for the charged shotgun, so it's not like the charge had to compete with the pump. Look, I mean, I felt like the charged shotgun was the best shotgun in Chapter 2, Season 3. At the number 17 spot is Ocean's Burst Assault Rifle. I mean, literally a mythic AUG. And at the number 16 spot is the RPG. I mean, you want to talk about forgotten weapons in Fortnite history. The RPG is up there. I mean, what happened to the RPG? They just banished this thing from the entire Fortnite lore. I don't know what they got against the RPG, but its Chapter 2 version was pretty good. We do have to take into account those lower rarities, so specifically like the green version that was doing under 100 damage per rocket, so not one-shotting using an RPG, which is pretty tough. This weapon also briefly had a common variant that was doing 70 damage. I mean, I know it was barely in the game, so I can't really count it. But with that being said, the purple and legendary versions of the RPG are absolutely beefy, 115 and 130 damage with that big of a splash radius. The Chapter 2 RPG, and especially those higher rarities, is one of the best weapons of all time. I'm going to say it. And all right, I got a couple interesting ones here. At number 15 is Jules' drum gun, and at the number 14 spot is Shadow Midas' drum gun. And to my knowledge, by the end of Chapter 2, these were the exact same weapons. Same DPS, same fire rate, same damage, all of that stuff. Shadow Midas' drum gun just gets a little higher because I like the way it looks. But with that being said, they are extremely good weapons. A 204 DPS for SMGs is nothing to be ashamed of. Or I guess technically ARs? I mean, that's what the Fortnite wiki says. And in the current state, Midas' drum gun is the exact same as these weapons too, but in Chapter 2, Midas' drum gun was much, much better than these. And we got a pair of mythics from Chapter 2, Season 3. We got Kit's Charge Shotgun at the number 13 spot, and the Shockwave Launcher / Kit's Shockwave Launcher at the number 12 spot. Yeah, I mean, look, in Chapter 2, Season 3, this was an absolutely deadly combo. I can't believe these dropped from the same person. Like, everybody was dropping Caddy Corner to get their hands on these. I mean, especially the Shockwave Launcher right in a season like Chapter 2, Season 3 that was flooded, covered in water. Mobility was, like, of the essence, and this is one of the best mobility items of all time. So yeah, should be absolutely no surprises that it's this high. At the number 11 spot is the Plasma Cannon from Chapter 2, Season 7. What a weird weapon. Like, this thing would only work in Chapter 2, Season 7, but in its season, it absolutely dominated. I mean, you'll see in the gameplay, like, Chapter 2, Season 7 was absolutely insane with so many great weapons. I can't even believe that this thing even existed in the way that it did. You just shoot a big ball of plasma through everything and just zapped everybody. Incredible weapon launcher? Pistol? I don't know. And now we've cracked the top 10. We're getting into some elite weapons here, right? At the number 10 spot is just your regular assault rifle, and that includes the purple and legendary versions, of course, the Scar. Look, it is an absolutely solid assault rifle. Like, some people are going to say, oh, it's nostalgia talking, but I think it's really, really good. It does everything great. It's got great accuracy, great damage, great fire rate. You can use it from the hip. You can aim down sights. Everything about this assault rifle is really good. Especially in, like, the lower rarities. I think you're going to have a tough time in the common through blue rarities in finding a better assault rifle than this. At the number 9 spot is the Pulse Rifle and Sloan's Pulse Rifle, and at the number 8 spot is the Recon Scanner. So yeah, I had said earlier how we did have another recon weapon that was better than the flare gun, and yeah, the Recon Scanner is 100% better because you get infinite ammo. Combining the Recon Scanner, a weapon that lets you see people through walls, and a weapon that's a little bit higher on this list, wink wink, that literally lets you shoot through walls, I mean, that's an unreal combo. I think we're really seeing, especially now in Chapter 5, Season 4, the value of recon, especially with Emma Frost's reveal medallion, how insane it is when you have that and you can just constantly mark people. Imagine that reveal medallion, but you had like 50 people on the map carrying blue recon scanners. It was insane. At the number 7 spot is the TAC shotgun. Look, the TAC shotgun is an above average shotgun. I was always a pump over TAC guy, but the TAC is really, really good. It is absolutely a serviceable shotgun, and maybe in that gray rarity, I have a vendetta against the gray TAC. But other than that, I mean, it's your solid all-around shotgun, no complaints. At the number 6 spot is the Stark Industries rifle. Obviously a super relevant weapon. Like, as I'm recording this 2 days ago, they just added the Stark Industries rifle into Chapter 5 Season 4. The problem is that version of the Stark Industries rifle has a lot more recoil and is not hit scan. But the Chapter 2 version of this weapon, oh man, this thing was the dominant AR in Chapter 2 Season 4. I mean, literally just untouchable. I absolutely loved the Stark Industries rifle. I have literally not a bad thing to say about this weapon. Aim down sights, of course, it's a little bit sluggish, slow fire rate, but big time damage, and you get that fast hip fire with still really good damage in the 30s. It is an absolute top tier assault rifle. And speaking of top tier weapons at the top of their class, I'm going to go with the railgun at the number 5 spot from Chapter 2, Season 7. What a weapon. I mean, I absolutely love the railgun. I am a sniper at heart. I love snipers, and I was absolutely geeking when I saw the railgun in Chapter 2, Season 7. Dude, like not even is it such a great weapon. You can shoot through 2 layers of walls. Like, yes, that's all sick. It is just such a cool weapon. Like, think about it. You have to charge up this massive shot. You shot it, like echoed throughout the map. It absolutely nuked any UFOs. I think it did like 700 damage to UFOs. Again, like I mentioned earlier with the recon scanner, if you pair the recon scanner and the railgun together, you have one of the most dominant dual weapon combos in Fortnite history. And all right, at the number 4 spot, we have Sky's assault rifle, and at the number 3 spot, we have Midas' drum gun. So a pair of mythics from Chapter 2, Season 2. So I'm going to talk about them together. So yeah, firstly, Sky's assault rifle, just unbelievable. They took one of the best assault rifles in Fortnite history, gave it a mythic, gave it more damage, gave it a higher fire rate. Can be used as literally an AR, an SMG, a shotgun, a sniper. It doesn't matter. It was so accurate. It was such a fast fire rate and high damage. If you want to make the argument this is the best mythic from Chapter 2, Season 2, yeah, you absolutely could do that. And honestly, everything I just said for Sky's assault rifle, you could 100% say for Midas' drum gun. You got to understand how OP aim assist was, especially in controller. When you use these weapons, it was just like you were locking onto somebody, and Midas' drum gun felt that exact same way when you jumped into somebody's box. I don't even know how to explain how good Midas' drum gun is. Like, go back and watch some of the clips. Honestly, I'll try and put some of the most broken clips on the screen here. Like, you just ran through everybody. There was no reason to ever carry a shotgun. I really cannot emphasize enough, like, how overpowered this weapon is. We really don't get weapons like this anymore. I mean, the most overpowered weapon I can think of since Midas' drum gun, maybe like the overclocked pulse rifle, maybe the Foundation's MK7. But again, I think Midas' drum gun is right up there with those weapons. But all right, we have finally gotten into the top 2 weapons in Chapter 2. And at the number 2 spot is the pump shotgun. That is obviously going to include the spaz shotgun as well, the purple and legendary variants. Look, I know I'm waiting for the absolutely, glazing the pump shotgun comments down below. And yeah, I'll take the hit on it. I love the pump shotgun. There's no really debating that for the first 3 chapters of Fortnite and the first season of Chapter 4, this is the best shotgun that has ever been in Fortnite. This weapon was like at the core of the Chapter 2, Season 2, especially meta. There's a reason why in like all the box fight creative maps, everything, it always includes the pump shotgun, right? Like, everybody loves the pump shotgun. Like, I've never met somebody that doesn't like this weapon. It is a fantastic weapon, but it is not the best weapon in Chapter 2. That spot is going to go to Brutus's minigun. Yes, I do think Brutus's minigun from Chapter 2, Season 2 is the best weapon in the entire chapter. I mean, just listen to this, right? Some of you guys, most of you guys probably regard one of the best weapons, and not the best weapon in Fortnite history, to be the Foundation's MK7, right? That weapon has a DPS of 209. Brutus's minigun has a DPS of 252. 21 damage at a 12 fire rate with 33 structure damage per shot is unreal. Like, the range doesn't even matter with this thing. It really doesn't. Like, sniper range, you're using Brutus's minigun, just crouch, you literally get no bullet spread. If you want to go close range, shotgun range, just pull out Brutus's minigun, just stuff the gun down their throat. Again, I think potentially you could make the argument that Midas' drum gun or Sky's assault rifle could be here, but I don't know. When I was making this list, I went right to the top, number 1 spot. I just wrote Brutus's minigun in instantly. To me, it was never a question. This is the best weapon in all of Chapter 2. All right, guys. Well, yeah, that was a super long video, but you guys asked for it, so of course, I had to deliver on that. I'm sure, honestly, there's a couple of weapons that I probably forgot, so if I forgot anything, please let me know in the comments section below, and I'll add it to the ranking. But with that all being said, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of my ranking here. How did I do? It's literally impossible to rank 100 plus weapons, so yeah, cut me some slack. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.